Welcome to another episode of Football Scientific with me, Aaron Sarr. I'm a writer for FootballAnalysis1.com. I cover the Cincinnati Bengals, the NFL, and fantasy football. Also, I write for CFLNewsHub.com. I cover the Hamilton Ticats of the CFL. Also on Football Scientific, we talk about the IFL, NAL, UFL, and ELF. This is my co-host today, Corky the Crocodile. I am Corky the Crocodile! I'm back. I'm a guest host for the first time ever. Yep, you're a first-time guest host. Good job, Corky. We're back in Football Scientific Studios. It is time to get some updates, okay? First, big news in the NFL. Today, big news. Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins go on a blockbuster trade. Okay, Miami Dolphins trade all-pro quarterback Jalen Ramsey. He's not going to the beach, y'all, because he's going to Pittsburgh. Boom. Jalen Ramsey's going to Pittsburgh. Jonnu Smith, whether he wants to or not, is now going to Pittsburgh. Boom. Tight end Jonnu Smith going to Pittsburgh. Boom. And a 7th-round draft pick going to Pittsburgh next year's draft. Okay, so Jalen Ramsey, no beach, going to Pittsburgh. Boom. Take that. Get the smoke in your lungs, bro. And then Jonnu Smith, no beach, boop, going to Pittsburgh. Boop, check out those crocodiles in the river. All right, and they got a 7th-round draft pick. Miami Dolphins in return gets all-pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. Okay, that guy's a playmaker, man. And they get a 5th-round draft pick for next year. Boop, boop, got it. So that's a big-time trade. That solves the Jalen Ramsey problem for the Dolphins. And the Jonnu Smith, what do they call that? Epic is over of him going back and forth. He wants to stay at Dolphins, blah, 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 blah. No, he's a Pittsburgh Steeler now. He'll probably have a great year. I'm finishing my tight end rankings for fantasy football. I included that he's gone to the Steelers via trade. So that's in the moment, you know. Some other business the last couple days in the NFL. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, so the Steelers are loading up. Let's just take a second. Steelers are loading up. Are they going to be any good? Yeah, they'll probably be pretty good. Are they going to be a playoff team? I don't know. It comes under Aaron Rodgers, man. Is he still a playoff quarterback? They've loaded up everywhere else. They went in the win now mode. So they got Aaron Rodgers for 1 year. So they went into win now mode. Will it be enough? Will it be enough? I hope not. Go Bengals. But they might be. We'll have to see as it develops. We'll see if everyone gets along. Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf may not get along. We'll see. Okay. All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's looking like Bucky Irving, who had a pretty good year last year, is going to be their starter. RB1 coming out in training camp. Washington Commanders are still having struggles with wide receiver Terry McLaurin and his contract extension talks. It's not going well. LA Chargers offensive coordinator Greg Roman says expect Justin Herbert to run more. Why is that important? Because that'll boost his fantasy value. Passing is the quarterback's in position stats, so it's worth a certain amount of points. But rushing is outside that, and he's going to be running more, similar to Lamar Jackson. Two things could happen. First, Justin Herbert could be an excellent runner, or he could get injured and be done for the year. So I think at this point they don't care which one happens to him. Okay, that's what they're saying. They don't care. Buffalo Bills. They believe that wide receiver Keon Coleman will be their breakout player this year in Buffalo. Since they didn't pick up a receiver, they hope he's going to be a receiver. Keon Coleman, breakout year. Fantasy owners, it could be big to know. Okay, Cleveland, keep an eye on Keon Coleman. Cleveland Browns, they got all kinds of quarterbacks. And I guess not looking to dump some. They can't dump Deshaun Watson, so that's probably the biggest holdback for them. That was a horrible deal. But there was talk that they could trade Shedeur Sanders. There's also trade he could be the first quarterback. So it's a lot of talk. Nothing's really confirmed. Except now they're not expected to move Shedeur Sanders before week 1. So that's ominous. They're not expected to trade Shedeur Sanders before week 1. Well, they might trade him this season, but not before week 1. I don't know. Shedeur Sanders would probably get lucky to get traded, because that's a quarterback graveyard, similar to Indianapolis Colts, Chicago Bears, quarterback graveyard. They're not going to take care of you. It would be best to get out of there. That'd be a win for Shedeur Sanders. But we'll see. See if it gets off that easy. San Francisco 49ers, they're not expected to trade wide receiver Brandon Ayuk in 2025, even though he's being real whiny. He's hurt. He wants a contract. Everyone gets that way with the 49ers, okay? I think he's going to have a good year. Just got to deal with talking about old dude whining all the time. New Orleans Saints, they are now interested in Browns quarterback Kenny Pickett, who could also be QB1. It's the Browns quarterback situation. They should be doing a show on that. That should be the quarterback show, not talking to Joe Burrow and whoever else they talk to. They should talk to the Cleveland quarterbacks and do a show on that. Yeah, it's going to be a real bad time. Plus, New York Giants, another one I'd like to see a show about. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, like an odd couple type show where Jameis Winston says off the wall stuff and Russell Wilson says, "What? Why did you say that?" Boom. Former Bengals wide receiver Tyler Boyd wants to play for the Steelers or the Eagles. If he goes to the Steelers, that's going to be real crappy. Because they got all these other players, man. Whatever, Tyler Boyd, you shouldn't have left the Bengals. You took a pay cut. I know they weren't going to pay you, man. But whatever. Okay. That's why they've been voted the worst organization in the league. Because everyone hates them. That's why I like them. I like them because everyone hates them. I'm sick. Las Vegas Raiders, Arizona Cardinals. Because if they win the Super Bowl, it's going to be crazy, man. They've had 3 chances. They've barely lost 2 of them. 3 of them, maybe. If they ever win a Super Bowl, that's going to be crazy. The Bengals should never win a Super Bowl, but they might. And if they do, it's going to be crazy, man. That's why I'm a fan. That's why I'm a Bengals fan. It's going to be crazy. Las Vegas Raiders, Arizona Cardinals, they're still talking to former Cleveland Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper. We say former Cleveland Browns wide receiver, but he's also former Oakland Raiders receiver, and they traded him away to Dallas, and then Dallas traded him to Cleveland, and blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, he would be going back to the Raiders. I think he'd be a better fit for the Cardinals. He could be a good number 3 for them, good home run shot guy on play actions. I think that would be a good fit, is Amari Cooper with the Cardinals. See if they want to pay him some money. See if he wants to play for less money. That might be smarter on his part. Okay. All right. BC Lions. We're going to the CFL. So that's NFL news. Mainly that Pittsburgh, Miami trade was the big news. That's breaking news. That's huge. Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey going to the Steelers. Ew. And then Minka Fitzpatrick going to the Miami Dolphins. Now, I remember once I went to a Bengals Buffalo Bills game. And I sat next to the family of Minka Fitzpatrick, and they were rude, man. At that time, I think I was going for Buffalo Bills, but they were like, only Buffalo Bills fans will say, let's go Buffalo. They're not saying, let's go Buffalo. They're not really Buffalo Bills fans, and they were real rude about it. They were sitting in the cheap seats like I was. That's crazy, right? So that was Minka Fitzpatrick's family. They're real rude. Well, be real rude in Miami. It's probably not a bad place to be unless you want to go to the beach. There's no parking available. No parking available in Miami. Come on, Jalen Ramsey can't be wrong. He doesn't worry about the beach now. He's living by the river with alligators in it. That's crazy. Okay. It's up north. Wow. How do alligators live in a river? Toxic waste? Maybe. Okay. All right. It's hard to say. In the CFL, BC Lions. Saskatchewan Roughriders. We predict Saskatchewan Roughriders win that game. And here's what happened. BC Lions, with Jeremiah Mazzoli, former Ticats quarterback, threw for 202 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Yikes. That's real bad. They had 130 rushing yards. They did get 3 sacks defensively. They had 1 rushing touchdown, 1 fumble. Saskatchewan Roughriders, 170 passing yards, 1 touchdown. This is with Jake Mayer at quarterback. So Trevor Harris must be hurt. So Jake Mayer's in there, and he threw over for 170 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Good game management. They ran for 108 rushing yards with AJ Uyet. That's really good. That's how you're going to win games in the CFL. You got 1 touchdown, no fumbles, no turnovers. They didn't get any sacks, but they did everything you got to do on offense. They were very efficient. They ran the ball well. They didn't turn the ball over. BC Lions turned the ball over 3 times. So Saskatchewan wins 37-18 as predicted by Football Scientific. Boop, got it. Hope we made some money on that. Because you probably lost some money on this one. Toronto Argonauts played at Ottawa Red Blacks. If the game went as expected, I expected Red Blacks to win this game. I said it would be a close game, though. And I also said I hope that Ottawa loses. You know, for Tirecast purposes, we needed Ottawa to lose because now it would make everyone tie for second place. And that's what happened. Toronto Argonauts came out. They threw for 269 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Nick Arbuckle. They only ran for 30 rushing yards. They should have lost this game. Should have lost this game because Ottawa threw for 235 yards, 0 touchdowns. That's bad. 1 interception, but the interceptions cancel out. They did have a rushing touchdown. They had 130 rushing yards for 1 touchdown and 1 fumble. They got 3 quarterback sacks. Toronto got 5 quarterback sacks. So at this point, I would say, knowing that, Ottawa should have won this game. I said 21-22. They probably should have won the game 16-15 or something, okay? But here's the problem. Toronto returned a fumble, 105 yards for a touchdown. Defensive touchdown. That's huge. Boom, defensive touchdown. And then they also returned a missed field goal for 120 yards. Means from the end zone for a touchdown, special teams touchdown. Ooh, that's 2 off-schedule touchdowns, meaning the offense didn't produce it. That means, boom, Ottawa lost 29-16. For Argonauts win. They all got 1 win now, Argonauts, Hamilton, and Ottawa. So, I mean, if you can win the game with defense and special teams, that's going to blow the game. So Ottawa, you know, they played good offensively. They played winning football offensively with their special teams, boom, and the turnover for a touchdown. That takes your defense out of it. You just messed your defense up. CFL Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they have moved global linebacker Fabian White to the practice roster. Okay, he played for a German team last year. Not from the ELF. I think Cologne Crocodiles. GFL, German Football League. Okay, and then I have my CFL power rankings, okay? So number 1, Saskatchewan Roughriders are now number 1 in the league, 4-0. Most balanced offense, defense, their special teams look good. Everything looks sound in Saskatchewan right now, 4-0, okay? Number 2, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They look really balanced. They're doing what they got to do. They run the ball. They pass the ball. They don't turn the ball over. Winnipeg Blue Bombers 3-0. They're doing well. Montreal Alouettes. They were number 1 last week, but then they allowed the Tirecats to get a defensive touchdown again. A couple of them, I think. And if I remember right, we did this review a couple days ago, but Montreal, definitely not the best team in the league anymore, not right now, but not the worst team in the league. They're number 3 in my eyes. They're still the best in the East. They're 3-1. They had 4 straight games without a bye. They came hit Hamilton after a bye. It's a recipe for losing the game. Okay, so I don't blame them entirely for losing that game. So I got the number 3. Number 4, Calgary Stampeders, 2-1. Unimpressive. They're number 4. They'd be 3rd place. They'd be the last playoff team in the West right now. 4. Number 5, the only reason they're at number 4 is because everyone else is not at number 4. Does that make any sense? Saskatchewan's good, Winnipeg's good, Montreal was good, could be iffy. We'll see how they bounce back from the Starcats loss. Calgary is the first mediocre team that were like, Number 5, Hamilton Ticats, they're 1-2, but they beat Montreal. That's a huge win. Defensive touchdowns, ran the ball well. Do what you got to do. They won the game. Can they build off of that? They got Toronto this week. If you can beat Toronto and go to 2-2, you're in business, bro. You're in business. We'll see if they can do it. Toronto Argonauts scored defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown, beat the Ottawa Red Blacks, and what I consider an upset, considering that Chad Kelly's not back. If Chad Kelly comes back this week, Hamilton could be in trouble. Without Chad Kelly, I think Hamilton will win the game. So I got Toronto at 6. 1-3. Number 7, Ottawa Red Blacks. Offensively, they're doing what they got to do offensively, man. They're not taking care of the ball. Ottawa Red Blacks 1-3. Number 7. BC Lions 1-3. Number 8, not taking care of the ball. Interception. Jeremiah Mazzoli, quarterback right now. You probably want to get Nathan Burke back as soon as possible. Number 9, Edmonton Elks 0-3. That's 0-3. Oh. Yikes. They played pretty well this week, honestly. They're doing things you got to do to win. They're just not doing it all the time. Okay, so for those who want to be negative about Edmonton, they are doing some things. They're trying their best. Quit being mean to them. Go Rough Riders. Stupid Edmonton. I mean, don't be mean to them. All right, that was confusing. All right, thanks, Corky. IFL, Fisher Freight, Tulsa Oilers. Tulsa, as I was hopeful they would be able to manage the situation at quarterback. If TJ Edwards out, hopefully he's out for one game, I guess, but it looked like he broke his leg, honestly. I think he's done for the year. They won't admit to that, because if they admit to that, they admit that every week will be like this. Now, in my defense, IFL stats were not supplied. So I got my general feel for the game from watching the game. These are not stats, okay? So Fisher, they didn't release them. I don't know why not. Fisher Freight, they went out, they got a big win. They won 30-37 in Tulsa Oilers. How they do that? Managed the game on offense, didn't turn the ball over, played some decent defense. Just let Tulsa make mistakes and didn't make their own mistakes. They won the game that way. They got the 4th win. Okay, Fisher Freight, technically still in the playoff race. If Massachusetts and Tulsa both collapse, Fisher Freight wins out, they'll be in the playoffs. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty successful after a 9-game losing streak. I mean, it's pretty good. Tulsa, that's 2 games in a row they won. That's pretty good. Tulsa Oilers, they look lost without TJ Edwards. They're gonna keep falling. They have no offense without TJ Edwards. Okay, they're gonna fall. Boop. Yeah, the whole team is built on TJ Edwards. They're gonna fall. Boop. Are they gonna fall the rest of the year? I think so. I think they don't have any answers. I think TJ Edwards is done. And even if he's not done, he might be good with a bad leg and his game is running the ball. I think they're done. I think they're going to crash out. Technically, they're still in the 4th spot in the East. I think they're going to crash out of the top 4. Okay, I got a little tag showing something. I don't know what that is. Okay, all right. That's very professional. Okay, got it. Okay, Fisher Freight won 2 games in a row. They beat Tulsa Oilers. They beat 2 playoff teams. Green Bay Blizzard, Tulsa Oilers, maybe playoff team. I don't think so. I think they're going to crash out. Massachusetts Pirates, Quad City Steamwheelers, Massachusetts, they hit a wall. They've been on a winning streak, 4-game winning streak, looking to overtake Tulsa Oilers. If they won this game against Quad City, they would have overtaken that spot next week. Next week. It would have been 6-6 next week. But they did not get that win. Massachusetts Pirates hit a wall. They just couldn't, they turned the ball over too much. They couldn't execute at a high level. Quad City Steamwheelers came out, bounced back from that Jacksonville Sharks loss. Boom, Daquan Neal. Jacksonville must have played pretty good defense against him because he looked back to his normal self against Massachusetts. Also, Massachusetts doesn't tend to play well at Quad City, and they didn't. And Quad City won 56-35 as expected. I didn't expect to win by that much, honestly. 44-41 I think I had. But still, understandably, Quad City wins. Okay, Jacksonville Sharks travel to Iowa Barnstormers in a big-time trap game. But their running game dominated the game. Running game and defense dominated the game. Iowa Barnstormers, they have no running game. They're all one-dimensional. If you don't hit on the pad, the thing about being an air raid team, whether you're indoor or outdoor, is if you're not hitting, you're gonna get down. You might come back, but you're gonna get down. And that's the nature of the air raid offense, is that's high risk. And you just don't win a lot of games. Barnstormers don't win a lot of games. They're too one-dimensional. You can't be an air raid team in indoor football and expect to win. I don't know if you can be an air raid team at any level of football, a true air raid team, and expect to win big. Okay? I think that was proven with Mike Leach and Hal Mummy and stuff, is that you may get a flash in the pan, but you're not ever going to win big with the air raid offense or even the run-shoot offense. You're never going to win big. The reason you run those offenses is because you don't have what it takes to win big. So, at least it gives you a chance. Jacksonville won that game 58-40. Boom, 1-10. Trap game, Jacksonville survives. Green Bay Blizzard traveled to Arizona Rattlers. Needed to bounce back. Loses to Fisher Freight. Didn't really bounce back. Offense seems to be stalled out right now, which is bad because that was pushing the team. Defense has been kind of iffy the whole year. Max Myler and the offense was picking up the slack and winning games for them in shootout type formats. This week they stalled out in Arizona. Bad time to stall out. And they need to get it started back up somehow. They got to get, they're crashing. They're crashing. That's what happens in IFL. You start crashing. And how can you turn it back up? Arizona Rattlers, 48. They ended their 4-game losing streak. How do they do that? By just playing their football game. Running the ball, throwing the ball. Dalton Sneed was in there. It wasn't Drew Powell's. I thought maybe when they picked him back up. So they ended the tumble. They got a win. Coming pretty close to solidifying their playoff run. Okay? They get in the playoffs, they might win. They won the IFL championship last year. I don't think they will. I think the Bay Area Panthers will win that. They're the better team, but we'll see. Bay Area Panthers, speaking of the Panthers, they traveled to Northern Arizona Wranglers, another track game. If you're a playoff team, if you're a champion team, you're going to win this. They did play well. They have a good balance on offense and defense. Their defense plays well. This is a major trap game. Could have fell victim to the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Wranglers are just too inconsistent on offense, and defense, they're pretty solid on defense, but their offense can't keep up in the West. And Bay Area wins 41-30, as expected. Almost exactly as expected, actually. I think we said 42-31 or something, 33. 41-30 is exactly as expected. So that means Bay Area is right where I thought they'd be. Vegas Nighthawks, they won 59-55 over the Tucson Sugar Skulls. They looked like a playoff game. That was a playoff game atmosphere last night. That was a tough game. Basically, Vegas just kept scoring. They just kept scoring. Tucson was scoring with them. Tucson kept attempting, Billy Back kept attempting 2-point conversions, and they were missing them. And when you keep missing them, you lose a lot of points because of that. And that's what happened. They lost a lot of points with these missed 2-point conversions. Okay? So that's bad news. The bad news is you want to win the game. They lost 59-55, all because of missed 2-point conversions. Ouch. Kick the extra point, man. I know stats and stuff. People who do statistical analysis say, oh, let's go for 2. But now if you're going to miss it every time, you go for 2 if you think you have a 50-50 chance. Here's football logic. You go for 2 every time if you have a 50-50 chance of scoring 2-point conversion, because then it plays out the same as extra points. And if you score a bunch of 2-point conversions, then you're ahead. Okay? But if it's not 50-50, then you're behind. And then that's how it's a bad deal. And that's what happened, because they weren't putting in the end zone, so they're behind, and then they lose the game because of that. You just got to know your team. Okay? If you're scoring 2-point conversions 50% of the time, go for it every time. How many teams do it 50% of the time? Very few. But back in the old days when we were a double wing team, we went for it every time. Didn't have a kicker. Went for it every time. Wedge play from 3 yards out is near 100% success. And a pop pass off that makes it unstoppable. Write that down. Wedge play, tush push without the push, plus pop pass, unstoppable on the goal line. I think Eagles added a pop pass this year. Teams should be doing this. They didn't ban the tush push, and I think you should do the tush push and then add the pop pass, and you are unstoppable on the goal line. CFL does this all the time. They don't do the tush push, but they do the quarterback sneak all the time on the goal line, and that's very successful. All right, so IFL rankings, you can do that in NAS football. I've seen it happen in NAL. People are running tush push in NAL and scoring all the time. Jacksonville Sharks ran some tush push with receivers in motion. That's a really effective tush push. It's a big push, okay? So, I mean, it can be done. Just add a pop pass to it. Have those receivers fly up, boop, and stick out and hit a corner, boom, wide open. It'll be wide open, guys. Hit it, okay? All right, IFL Power Rankings Week 15. So I got Bay Area Panthers, only team that clinched playoff spots before at 10-2. They raced to 10, and they got 10 first. And they are number 1 in the league right now, looking like the best team. Jacksonville Sharks, to me, look like the best team in the East right now, getting that big win against Quad City and bouncing back against Iowa and not falling into a trap. They're 9-4, but I think they're the best team in the East, as I expected. I expected Bay Area and Jacksonville to be the top 2 teams in the IFL National Championship game, and I still expect that. I think I predicted Jacksonville will win. I don't know how I feel about that right now. We'll see. Quad City Steamrollers, second best in the East. They are my number 3 team. They're 10-3. They won the race to the 10, but I don't think they're as good as Jacksonville. That last 2 weeks ago, Jacksonville beat them straight up, and I think that's real bad if you're trying to win an IFL National Championship. Unless Jacksonville gets knocked off, which can happen if they play Massachusetts. If they play Massachusetts in the first round, they'll probably get beat. They have some weakness against Massachusetts, and now Quad City's probably going to be the East champion. That's how it goes. But you never know. It's crazy in the East. It's very balanced. So I got Quad City number 3. San Diego Strike Force is number 4. They're 8-4. They didn't play this week. They held on number 4 spot by elimination, really. Vegas Nighthawks are 8-5, and they're climbing back up. They're really close to clinching a playoff spot, but haven't clinched it officially yet. Same for Stringer Strike Force. They've not quite clinched a playoff spot. They're on the verge. It's the race to 10. Vegas has 2 more games, I believe. I think they said 3 last night. But I guess they played 16 games. I don't know. I thought they played 15. But I gotta count, I guess. Arizona Rattlers race to 10 wins. Okay. They got 8. San Diego has 8. Arizona Rattlers 8-5. They broke their losing streak. They're back to 8-5. They're gonna be in the West. That's your West playoffs right there. Bay Area Panthers, Arizona Rattlers, crazy game. I think Bay Area wins. Vegas Nighthawks, San Diego Strike Force. Literally no idea who wins that game. And then who wins that game? I mean, anyone can win the West right now. Bay Area is playing the best football, but they're 1 injury away from Josh Johnson or whatever to not be very good. So anyone can win in the West. So what I love about the IFL is a parity, okay? You never know who's really going to win. Green Bay Blizzard, 8-5. They're my number 4 team in the East. Offense is dipping right now, dipping hard. If the East was a little better in the back end, they would probably be in a threat to miss the playoffs, but it's not better in the back end, so they're probably going to be the 3 seed right now. They're not elite. They're dipping off. Now, the offense gets fired back with Max Myler. They might be elite again, though, so we got to watch out. They might be Quad City. That's a close matchup. Okay, I don't think they'll beat Jacksonville. Massachusetts Pirates are now 6-6 after losing to Quad City on the road, and they're in the playoffs, but they're going to go on the road. They beat Jacksonville at home, Jacksonville, though, so I mean that's the dangerous matchup for Jacksonville is Massachusetts Pirates. Massachusetts Pirates went to the IFL Championship game last year and got destroyed by Arizona. So whatever. Their offense isn't as good as last year. But they might get back there. They're number 8. That'd be your playoff teams. In the West, Bay Area, San Diego, Vegas, Arizona. In the East, it'd be Jacksonville, Quad City, Green Bay, and Massachusetts. And who would win out of that? I think Jacksonville and Bay Area still. I still hold on to my preseason prediction. Bay Area and Jacksonville. Number 9, Tucson Sugar Skulls. They're 5-7. That was a big loss last night. But if Arizona or Vegas lose out, or San Diego, and they win out, they can still take a spot. They have a very outside chance of getting a spot. But they need at least one of those 3 teams to lose out. They got to win out. Okay? Tulsa Oilers, win out, man. You have to win out. I think they got to win out. They got to win the next couple of games, man. They got 3 games to win. They got to win 3 games. And without TJ Edwards, I don't think they can do it. I think Massachusetts is going to pass them. So right now they're still ahead of Massachusetts technically in actual standings by a half game. But I think next week, if Tulsa can't figure out the quarterback situation, they're going to get passed up by Massachusetts, and that's why Massachusetts at 8. I think they're the better team right now. Fisher's Freight still hanging on at number 11, still hanging on to playoff hopes. 2 games they won in a row. If everyone crashes out, Massachusetts, Tulsa, they both crash out. Fisher's wins out. Seems highly unlikely. Then they might get in, but that'd be a really bad team in that 4th spot. Usually those teams don't make an IFL. San Antonio Gunslingers, same idea. They're 3-9. They got to win out. Everyone's got to lose out. If they get in, it's bad. They could be Strike Force. I think it's bad against everyone else, though. I don't want to see them get in, honestly. I thought they would get in preseason, but they've not lived up to their hopes. And they're an ugly team. Not scoring the way I thought they would. Number 13, Barnstormers 1-11. They've been eliminated. Northern Arizona Wranglers They're eliminated 1-12. It is what it is. Bad football. It's just bad football. That's your IFL power rankings. Okay. ELF, my last set of power rankings and game reviews here. Madrid Bravos traveled to Hamburg Sea Devils. I expected Madrid to dominate, and they did. They threw for 405 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 168 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 sack, 3 interceptions. Hamburg Sea Devils with Michael Leon back at quarterback, 124 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. That's bad. 82 rushing yards. He got 5 sacks, but it doesn't overcome 3 interceptions. Madrid wins 57-0 over Hamburg. Just a butt kicking. Rookelaw Panthers, I figured they would be better than this against Fairbar and Thrones. Probably Fairbar and Thrones' best game of the year. Rookelaw came out, threw for 108 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Ran the ball for 171 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks. They should have dominated this game. 259 passing by Fairbar and Thrones, 3 touchdown passes. Okay, and then here's the deal, but no interceptions. That's important. That's the first game they've had no interceptions. They only had 18 rushing yards. But they had 3 rushing touchdowns and 18 rushing yards. Crazy. No, that's way too many touchdowns. No, they probably didn't. They probably had no rushing touchdowns. Okay, whatever. That's crazy. That's not right. Okay. So they didn't hit their extra points or anything. Rookelaw wins 24-19, but if I'm Rookelaw, I'm really disappointed with that win. It's hard to be disappointed with a win in professional sports, okay? Because you're like, well, we win out. It doesn't matter. It's not power rankings. It's not, computer rankings and stuff. But it's still sad. They should have blew out Fairbar, but they didn't. Fairbar hung on there. I mentioned in a conversation with the chat, that I thought Rookelaw would win by 32.5, but they did not. I would have lost that one. I don't think you can bet on the ELF, so maybe I wasn't thinking about that much either. I wasn't in the studio, so I don't have my data with me. Rhein Fire, Berlin Thunder. I predicted Rhein Fire would set the Berlin Thunder on fire. Pun intended. Here's what they did. They threw for 90 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's pretty good. They ran the ball for 299 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 quarterback sacks. That rushing game is dominant right now. Dominant. Whoever the new staff is, they stepped in and made that offensive run game dominant. That's how you win in ELF. That's how you win in CFL. How you win in NFL. That's how you win everywhere. Berlin Thunder at 80 passing yards for 1 touchdown. That's bad for a passing team. And 52 rushing yards. That's bad for every team. And they just didn't produce stuff. They didn't make any critical errors. They just didn't produce, and Rhein Fire ran over them. So they just didn't respond. Prague Lions showing that they're the real deal. I didn't think they were the real deal, but it looks like they are the real deal with Javarian Smith leading the way. They threw for 153 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's a well-played game by Javarian Smith. They had 210 rushing yards. That's real deal football. They had 3 sacks on defense. Prague Lions are for real. We're seeing it right now. This is their year. We're going to make a run. They're the Munich Ravens from last year. Playing great defense, playing good offense, pounding the ball, doing their thing. Frankfurt Galaxy, who I thought was going to have a great year, is not now. They're getting crushed, man. They had 45 passing yards, but they had 3 interceptions, 83 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. They don't look like a playoff team to me. Prague Lions look like the real deal now. I feel bad for going against them, but I didn't believe it. I'm slow at believing these things. It's all playing linebacker back in the day. You got to be slow to go. Okay? You gotta let the play out. If you go too fast, you hit with play action. Now you might get hit too fast. Okay, that's a good coaching point. Playing defense. Okay, you're in a coverage. Don't bite on the first thing you see, because you open up routes behind you. Everyone's looking to play off the first thing you jump, but they're going to make plays behind you. Okay, if you don't know what to do, stay where you're at. Against the run game, against the pass game, gain some depth. Give your chance some room for error so you can make a play on the ball. That's some life lessons to live by, football-wise. Vienna Vikings went to T-Roll Raiders. Expect this to be a tough game. Battle for Austria, not Vienna, like I said the other day. The Vienna Vikings returned 35 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, no interception. Well-played game. They ran the ball for 222 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. They had 2 sacks. Everything says they won this game. T-Roll Raiders threw for 396 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's going to get you beat. They ran the ball 100-something rushing yards and a touchdown, 1 sack. They did not play well enough. They played better than they did before against Vienna. Vienna wins 44-38. I expected a much tougher game because even though Vienna did run the ball well, as you play, teams get better. I think T-Roll's getting better. I don't think they're a playoff team, but they're getting better. Okay, only 6 teams make the playoffs out of 16. They're the toughest non-NFL football league to get the playoffs in. Paris Musketeers travel to Cologne Centurions. Cologne Centurions are a mess right now. Paris threw for 256 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, 81 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 quarterback sacks. They dominated every way. Cologne threw the ball 56 yards. They had 3 rushing yards. Ouch. Paris wins 62-0. Cologne's just trying to finish the year, if they can finish the year. It reminds me of the Leipzig Kings a few years ago, and they ended up holding up 10. They fell for the end of the season. There's only a few games left for Cologne, so I think there's 7 weeks left in the season. You're 0-6, man. Battle through. Battle through. There's 12 games you play. Battle through. And then figure it out. They reconfigured it this year. I don't know why they're so bad. Stuttgart Surge, Munich Ravens. This is a playoff game. Type atmosphere. 2 division leaders. Looking up. Well, it should be division leaders. Stuttgart Surge is not a division leader because their team in front of them is better. But big game. Stuttgart Surge, 296 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Ooh, 2 interceptions, that's bad. 109 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Okay. They had 2 quarterback sacks. Munich Ravens, 247 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Some more touchdowns. 3 interceptions. Ouch, that hurts. They usually play off efficiency. They had 228 rushing yards, though, 1 touchdown. They dominated the run game. They got 2 sacks. Even though they threw more interceptions, it's less important than winning in the running game. Munich Ravens win 36-33 over Stuttgart Surge. That's the biggest win, I believe, in Munich history. They beat a legitimate championship level team in the ELF. So that's the first time they've done that. That's a huge win. All right, so with that in mind, here's our power rankings for the ELF after week 7. Nordic Storm, number 1, didn't play this week. Helvetic Mercenary didn't have any players available. Nordic Storm wins. They're 5-0. Number 2, Vienna Vikings look the second best team. Not by a lot, but they do look like the second best team right now. Vienna Vikings number 2. Boom. It'd be better if they got the running back back. Number 3, Munich Ravens, 5-1. They look like the next best team. They could overtake Vienna in the next couple weeks. That was a huge win against Stuttgart. They usually don't beat the good teams, and that's a good team they beat. Number 4, Paris Musketeers, 4-2. Their defense looks elite. Offense is well balanced. They beat the bad teams quite badly. So, I mean, Paris looks pretty good. They're my number 4 team right now. That's your division leaders. Number 5, Stuttgart Surge. Look like the best non-division leader. They're behind Paris, I believe, in the standings. They would be a division leader if Paris wasn't playing so well. Madrid Bravos, I got them at 4-2. Bravos are a good team, good offense, explosive. They got the running game going on Saturday. They're pretty good. They're 4-2. That's your 6 playoff teams. Nordic Storm, Vienna Vikings would get the bye. It's halfway through the season, okay? So we still got 7 weeks left. But Nordic Storm, Vienna Vikings would get the bye. Top 2 teams. Munich Ravens would go to playoffs, play Madrid Bravos. That would be a crazy game. Crazy game. Paris Musketeers, Stuttgart Surge, that'd be a crazy. These playoffs should be amazingly fun. Prague Lions are on the outside of the playoffs looking in. It's number 7. Prague Lions 4-2. They could overtake that if Javarian Smith keeps it up. They're one of these teams like Tulsa Oilers on the IFL. If Javarian Smith goes down, it's over Rover, but they look good with him at quarterback. Ryan Fire, the running game has picked it back up. They could get back into the championship window. They're right there. Ryan Fire look like a contender. T-Roll Raiders are getting better. They're 4-3. Number 9, they're getting better. They could become a legitimate playoff contender. I think that's your cutoff for playoff contenders. I think Nordic Storm, Vienna, Munich Ravens, Paris, Stuttgart Surge, Madrid Bravos are your favorites for the playoffs. Prague Lions could get in there. Ryan Fire, T-Roll Raiders. I think one of those teams will get in and knock someone off. Right now. That's what I feel right now. I think Wroclaw Panthers are out of it. I think not blowing out Fairbar in front of Stroger. They're not really a playoff team, guys. They're number 10, but they're in the top 10 out of 16 teams. But they're not, in my mind, a playoff team. They're 3-3. But I don't see them as a playoff team right now. Number 11, Frankfurt Galaxy, 3-4. Yeah, big loss to Prague. That shows that they're in the bottom half of this league. They're number 11. Number 12, Berlin Thunder. Just said they got 2 wins in a row to start the season, and they haven't looked good since. So, 2-5. Number 13, Hamburg Sea Devils, 2-5. Boom. Not looking good. Started out kind of strong, dipping off hard right now. Quarterback situation's a mess. February Throners, 0-6. So I can't move them up, but they played better than expected. Or Wroclaw played worse than expected. Both those things can be true, I believe. Helvetic Mercenaries, they don't have enough to play right now. I don't know. So I got them at 15 because they're 0-5. Cologne Centurions. I'd like to think even Helvetic, if Helvetic had to play Cologne, they would have played the game and probably won by like 2 points. Because they had to play Nordic Storm. That's the best thing to lead. They're like, no, we're not going to get blown out by the Nordic Storm. But we could have beat the Cologne Centurions. I have Helvetic in front of Cologne. Cologne looks like such a mess right now. I don't know. So that's the show for today. I'll probably have another show. We're going to get some shorts out there. Those have been doing pretty well. So we're going to talk about some of these things that happened recently and some shorts and see if we can get some hits there. So a few reminders. First, we're up back up to 85 subscribers. We had a little dip. I think some people that were not serious football fans dipped off. I had a lot of students of mine jump on because they want to be a part of something. But I think we're close to 100 people. I got some people in Canada looking at what we're doing. I got some people in IFL looking. Look at us. We got DraftKings shut down for a little while. I think they bounced back up at the very end. They put their standings, their betting lines back up. But we got them shut down, man. We're winning some games, okay? We're winning with our details. Stay with us. Help this thing grow. Help this thing grow, okay? Looking to make bigger. Looking to make something happen, okay? NFL season, I think, will be a cash cow for those that want to play off my picks. Then you got to cash in. We'll have all the nuts and bolts figured out before we get to the NFL season. So check out footballanalysis1.com for some fun NFL articles right now. Check out CFLnewshub.com for some fun CFL articles. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 100 people. Let's get to 1 billion people. Oh, be fun. And like the channel. Boop. That'd be good. If you want to see something different, let me know. I talk about some football logic along the way here. You want to see? They'll usually be shorter videos. This is a lot of information to put out there today. So let me know what you want. I'll provide it. Okay. All right. Boop, boop. Football Scientific portal is now closed. Boop, 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 boop.